Greetings to all. Thanks for joining us. Russell Broadbent, your independent member for Monash. Today I spoke in the Parliament about my grave concerns regarding the government's unreasonable, unethical and unconscionable no jab, no pay policy. My speech was inspired by a powerful letter written to me by a young mother, Chloe, who's been financially punished for failing to adhere to the government's immunisation schedule. I want to honour Chloe by reading her full letter to you. Chloe told me this. Since 2016, this policy has withheld key government entitlements to Family Tax Benefit Part A supplement and childcare subsidies from families who choose not to vaccinate their children in accordance with the national schedule. This is not just another health regulation. It is, to this day, the only federal law in Australia and in the wider world that ties a person's access to government financial support to their compliance with a specific medical procedure. We're not talking about schooling or border control or emergency quarantine powers. We're talking about welfare payments, a cornerstone of Australia's social safety net, especially for families, being used as a leverage against private medical choices. This is not a health policy, it's a coercion policy, and it targets those least able to absorb the loss. Young families, single parents and low-income Australians already doing it tough. As Australians, we pride ourselves on giving everyone a fair go. But what's fair about punishing struggling families for making a personal health choice? What's Australian about using a child's entitlements to force their parents into line? This wasn't just a one-off policy, it was the beginning of a slippery slope. Once we allowed the government to tie medical procedures to financial support, it became easier to tie it to jobs, to travel, to participation in society. We're now reaping the consequence of letting coercion become part of public health toolkit. We're told this is for the greater good, but coercion is not good policy, it's lazy governance. Even the World Health Organization, so often invoked in public health debate, expert advisory group SAGE warns that mandates must be approached with great care as the potential negative consequences may outweigh the benefits. An implicit call for any such measure to be proportional to the risk it seeks to address. In the case of the no jab, no pay, there was no national emergency, no outbreak, no extraordinary risk to justify this kind of pressure. There was only policy making by ideology and using the blunt tool of financial punishment to enforce medical compliance. Let's contrast that with the WHO's World Health Organization's global strategy on immunisation through to 2030. The Immunisation Agenda 2030, or AI230, highlights the importance of community engagement, education and outreach, strengthening health systems, and removing barriers to access. Nowhere does it endorse coercion. Nowhere does it recommend withholding family tax benefits as a strategy to increase vaccine uptake. Instead, it emphasises people-centred approaches that build trust and promote informed decision-making. Trust, informed decision-making. These are not radical ideas, these are the cornerstone of ethical healthcare. And that's what's been lost under no jab, no pay. The ability to have conversation, the ability to weigh risks and benefits, the ability to decline a medical product without facing financial reprisal from your own government. This policy has not increased confidence in vaccination. It has eroded trust in public health and created a generation of Australians who feel bullied by the very institutions meant to support them. We must be better than this. We must stand for informed consent, not enforced compliance. We must return to a framework where health decisions are personal, not political, and where families are not punished for asking questions. Repealing the no jab, no pay legislation is not an anti-vaccine position, it's a pro-choice, pro-ethics, pro-democracy position. Because in a free society, the government should never hold your child's welfare hostage to your medical decisions. The line was crossed. It's time we drew it back. Thank you, Chloe. Put beautifully.
Authorised by Russell Broadbent MP, Independent Federal Member for Monash, 46C, Albert Street, Warragul, Victoria 3820.